Hey, what's up you guys? It's the Curious Owl here, and I have another book review for you guys. So this is going to be on Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom. This is a book that was recommended to me several times throughout high school, and I had always been interested to read it, but I never had the chance to. So now I actually got to read it, and I honestly really liked this book. Had no idea what this book was about until I actually started reading it. For those of you who have not read this book, it is essentially about a 16-year-old boy named Jacob. He starts out talking about his grandfather, who was a very strange man, told him all these weird stories about people he had met when he was a child. Well, not a child, but like a young adult on this island in England. Basically saying that they had these supernatural powers and they were called peculiar children, and basically goes into this history about how he was arrived at this place during the Second World War and met all these people and realized he was one of them as well, but Jacob doesn't really believe any of that, and it's not until his grandfather is actually found. He finds his grandfather murdered by some weird creature that he even starts to think that any of this stuff is real, but he doesn't, and he has to go through therapy, and they tell him that he was just so grief-stricken that he just went insane. So his therapist decides to have him go to this island that his grandfather was from, and he basically goes on this adventure trying to find out about his grandfather's past, like where he was, like who were these people that he met, especially this woman, Miss Peregrine. Who was she? What was going on? It's a interesting novel because you think at first it's going to be just strictly supernatural because of all of the different kind of peculiar children that are involved in it, but it's kind of got a weird sci-fi kind of thing in it too, because of certain things that happen. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I really love this book, to be completely honest. This was a great book. I'm really happy that I was recommended it and I actually got to read it, and it definitely lives up to a lot of what people had told me about it. Excuse me, my voice is really sore right now. My throat is like all scratchy. The only problem that I had with this book, if any problems, was the chapters, the chapter length. The chapters were usually about anywhere between, I think, 30 to 40 pages each, and I'm not a fan of that. I am not a fan of books that have explicitly long chapters. I am more of a person that if they're going to be long, they have to be if they're going to be longer, they have to be kind of very deep, and these chapters were deep. It was so much information, and like it took so long, so half the time I was stopping in like the middle of a chapter because it was taking me so long to read this chapter. So that is my only problem with this novel, if anything. Ransom is a great author. I think he really makes himself stand out with this novel because of its weird and strange kind of storyline, and the characters I felt were really interesting, especially all of the peculiar children. You mainly focus on only a couple of them, and the rest are kind of just there, so which is fine because honestly, like, not all of them were really like big characters in the novel, but I did like the fact that he added a lot of personality to them despite that. And I think he really came up with a great story, and I know this book was made into a movie. There was a trailer, but I don't know 100% if it actually came out or not. I don't know. I thought I heard something saying it was postponed. I really don't remember. I know that Looking for Alaska was postponed due to casting disputes, so I don't know if this movie was postponed as well, or if it's not out yet. I have not seen really any trailers for it in the last few weeks, so maybe it's out now. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, this was a really good book. I honestly give it like high recommendation to anyone that likes supernatural kind of sci-fi-y kind of books, which I love. If you just like anything weird, this is a book for you. Like, if you like things that are strange and kind of out there, this is definitely a book for you. I had my friend group in high school was really kids that were kind of out there, didn't really like fit in with one group of people. So this was a book that they all, pretty much all of them read and all recommended to me. So I'm so glad I actually finally got to read this and review it for my channel. Unbelievable. Unbelievable how great this book was, I swear. Okay, so that's going to be about it for this book review. I know it's short, but I really had no problems with it, and I really enjoyed it. Ransom Riggs really is a great author. I really think he has a good writing style, and I loved his characters, all of them, despite how minor many of them were. All the Peculiar Children were really diverse and really interesting as far as their talents, and I really enjoyed it. I had only the problem with the chapter lengths. I'm just not a big fan of big chapters, which is a personal preference for me. But the next book I'll be reviewing is called A Tale Dark and Grim by Adam Gidwitz. This was a book actually that my younger sister read and recommended that I read because I love the grim story tales. And this is, I guess, supposed to be a strange retelling of it. It's kind of like they take the grim stories and they all kind of like put them together, and there's this weird like thing happening. I'm not really 100% sure. I'd have to ask my sister about what it really is. I remember she told me about it a long time ago, but I completely forget. But yeah, so that's going to do it for this book review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you're not already and you'd like to be, hit that button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock. And I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye, guys!